They say no one chooses to become a chaos champion, chaos chooses you, but the truth is darker than that. Sometimes it isn't a whisper in your ear, sometimes it's a scream. That I learned this the day the sky burned red above Kolth, the day my brothers died, and the day a voice crawled into my soul, promising salvation, or damnation. That I in the grim darkness of the 41st millennium, the line between the two is thinner than a knife's edge. This is the story of how I crossed it. War does not begin with bolter fire. It begins with silence, the kind of heavy, suffocating silence that follows betrayal. That I was once Elias Varon, a warrior of the Ultramarines' 22nd Company, disciplined, loyal, unshakable. At least, that's what I used to believe. Our company was deployed to cleanse a corrupted forge moon near the Maelstrom, a routine operation, nothing unusual. But the warp laughs at the word routine. The air itself felt wrong as we advanced through the metal corridors. A hum vibrated through the steel, like a heartbeat deep beneath the moon's crust. The tech marines insisted it was machinery. I knew better. Every step felt like someone watching us, waiting. Then the screaming started. Cultists poured from the darkness like a tide of broken humanity. Not human anymore, twisted bone, molten eyes, flesh painted with symbols that burned the moment you looked too long. We fought through them, bolters roaring, chains words tearing. But for each one we killed, two more rose from the shadows. That we were being herded. It wasn't until Sergeant Varro fell that I tasted fear for the first time since my initiation. A blade of warp metal pierced his chest, and the light in his eyes flickered out. My brothers pushed forward, dragging his body with us, but I hesitated, just long enough to see it. A shimmering tear in reality. A wound in the air itself, and from that wound, a voice, not spoken, felt, "You fear loss, but I can take your pain away." That I fired into the warp tear until my bolter overheated, but it didn't close. It only expanded, its edges bleeding red light onto the floor. The ground beneath us split. The moon began to collapse in on itself. I shouted for retreat. No one heard. One by one, my brothers vanished into the chasm. I grabbed Varro's fallen banner and tried to pull them back, but the steel gave way under my boots. I fell. Screaming. Burning. My armor cracked like old stone, but before consciousness left me, I saw them, massive silhouettes in the fire below. Demon shapes. Hands reaching, and the voice again, "Let me save you." Elias. That I woke in darkness, not dead, not alive. Suspended in a realm without stars. My armor was gone. My body unbroken, untouched. Though I remembered the fall, the voice spoke once more, softer now. "They abandoned you. But I can give you power. Purpose. Victory." I didn't answer. It answered for me. Pain exploded through my body, reshaping me, reforging me. My bones cracked and reformed with every breath. My blood thickened into molten fire. My senses expanded. I could hear whispers in worlds I'd never seen. When the darkness lifted, I stood in armor that pulsed like a living heart, colors shifting like oil on water. A demon blade rested in my right hand, its edge hungry for souls. I screamed, not in pain, but in horror. A part of me died that day. A chaos champion was born. Becoming a chaos champion is not a single moment. It's a slow death of the things that made you human. The war band that found me called themselves the Sons of Ruin, renegade Astartes, bearing scars from ages of corruption. Their leader, Lord Malrek, studied me with eyes that shimmered like broken glass. "You have been chosen," he said. "The gods favor you." I told him I serve no gods. He laughed. "You will." For months, I fought beside them, though I refused their rituals, their prayers, their sacrifices. I wielded the demon blade they gave me, but every time it tasted blood, I felt something inside me rut a little more, and then came the moment that changed everything. A small Imperial outpost stood in our path, not a fortress, not a garrison, just a settlement of families and workers. "Easy prey," Malrek said. "A gift to the dark gods." He ordered me to lead the attack. I refused. The warband circled me, blades drawn. The demon inside my weapon whispered eagerly, urging me to unleash it. But as I looked at the outpost, I saw children hiding behind their parents. I remembered the worlds I had once sworn to protect, and in that moment, I realized something chaos had never expected. It could twist my flesh. It could warp my soul, but it could not steal my will. So I made a choice. I turned my blade, not toward the innocent, but toward the sons of ruin themselves. For the first time since my corruption, the voice of the warp shrieked in fury. I cut down Malrek first. His armor split with a howl, a black storm erupting from his body. The warband charged, dozens of corrupted Astartes crashing into me like a tidal wave. I fought through them, every strike powered by rage and regret. By dawn, the battlefield was silent. I stood alone, bleeding, shaking, but free. When the Imperial soldiers approached, they aimed their lost guns at me, unsure whether I was enemy or savior. I couldn't blame them. I knelt and placed my demon blade into the dust. The weapon screamed, clawing at my mind, but I pushed it aside. "I am Elias Varen," I said, voice trembling. "Once of the Ultramarines. Twice damned, once by chaos, once by my own weakness. But I will not harm you." The commander stared at me for a long moment, then lowered his gun. "What are you now?" he asked. I looked at the rising sun, the first true light I'd seen in months. "I don't know," I answered honestly. "But I know what I'm not." I turned away from the demonic whispers behind me, turned away from the power still burning in my veins, turned away from the path chaos demanded. For the first time, I chose my own path, and that is the true curse of a chaos champion, not the mutations, not the hunger, not the chains of the gods. It's knowing that after everything you've become, you still have the power to choose who you are. Even in the grim darkness of the far future, fire can be found in the ashes.